Hi, everybody. We are back, and thanks for joining us again on this wonderful, beautiful June 1st, right here, 2018, June 1st, right here in Las Vegas. So happy to be back, and I just want to say thank you to all the loyal supporters, all of you Facebook fans, everybody who's really jumped in and helped keep Variety Talk Live in Las Vegas alive. You know who you are. We appreciate you so much. Ron Smith, thank you so much for what you did last week. Appreciate you. Tuskegee Airmen, we appreciate you guys. You'll be coming up in August, excuse me. And so everybody's just been really helpful, and we love you, appreciate you so very much, and thanks for sticking in there all of that time in Chicago with me as well. And I'm going to give a special shout out, and I love you so very much, to Mr. E.K. Leak Sr. And Dad, I know you're going to be just fine. So anyway, we're going to kind of switch gears again, because the purpose of this show, particularly with the soldiers, and this is a half and half. We're celebrating the veterans because we didn't get a chance to do it Memorial Day last week. And we're also celebrating the Buffalo Soldiers, because we will be in the upcoming summer months, and as we go into fall, actually trying to build a show for the veterans. This is all about people helping people. It's a business networking show, and we're asking for your support as well as we go forward to help us have a home for the veterans where they can actually come in and find resources on information on how to build a business, how to maintain one, and everything that they need to know about business and networking. So that's for the veterans. As far as the Buffalo Soldiers, we'd love to build a home for them as well, because we need more Buffalo Soldiers. And so we're actually trying to make sure that we get the youngins on board and do a little recruiting and let everyone know who they all are and what they stand for and what this is all about. So that's our purpose, everyone. And anybody that wants to help out, do you guys have a number where people can call and contact you or anything like that?
Yeah, I have to look on my business card to get it, but
okay. Well, we'll do it during the next commercial break. But we're going to have some information ready for you. So anybody that wants to jump in ahead of time, because we'll be doing like a little drive throughout the summer and giving you guys some heads up on it. Okay, I'll put you on the spot. Sorry about that, Trooper John. But we'll in the future make sure that we give everybody, the Variety Talk family, a chance to jump on with us either on Facebook, the social media, and join in to help us out. All right? So now, I promised that we'd go back to finding out about how the officers got involved in the Buffalo Soldiers. So how did you finally start getting African American officers leading the troops?
Okay, I'll take that one. The first one that went to West Point, African American went to West Point, was Henry O. Flipper, and he had a hard time getting through West Point. People didn't talk to him. It was amazing that he actually graduated and made it through with all the segregation and all the racism that he had to endure to get to that point. But he succeeded. He endeavored, and he graduated West Point, and he got stationed out at Fort Davis, I think it was, and I think he was in charge of the commissary in that area. Mm-hmm. And he eventually was court-martialed, I think, because he was railroaded into something.
Wow, it's like we haven't changed much in our times, have we?
But I think he was, some down the road, some tell me he was pardoned. I can't remember how.
President Clinton pardoned him.
Because he was actually railroaded, and I think it had something to do with the commander's daughter.
Wow.
So, that was a no-no.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely a no-no. So, okay, so when was that again? 18 what?
About 1884, I think.
1884.
Off the top of my head, I can't be exact, but sometime around that area.
Okay, so they decided that they would have you guys handle the Indians as opposed during the peacetime. Well, what were the white soldiers doing during peacetime?
They were there too, and you have to think there was only 10 cavalry units in the West or in the United States at that time, and 9th and 10th Cavalry composed a fifth of the cavalry. So, you know, instead of like John Wayne, you see always that it was a white cavalry. 1 in 5 cavalry members were African American. You don't see that portrayed on TV or anything like that. But right after the Civil War, they had what was called westward expansion.
Okay,
Manifest
I
Destiny.
remember that. Manifest Destiny, yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
they're moving out west, and they were afraid to have African Americans with guns east of the Mississippi,
Wow.
and probably for good reason. But they moved out west. They moved out west. It just so happened that with Manifest Destiny, they were removing these Indians from their homelands, and that's kind of what the mission was expand the United States westward, and we were part of that expansion. We built railroads.
Built railroads.
Built roads.
Okay.
We helped build the railroads as far as keeping the workers safe from hostiles.
Okay.
We built forts.
Guarded stagecoaches.
We guarded stagecoaches, and also the mail
Yeah, the Pony Express.
Pony Express, and all the pioneers that were coming out west. We did. Basically provided security, and we're like a police force in a way.
So how is it that the Buffalo Soldiers now, there's like a mystique with the Buffalo Soldiers. Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Well, the name came from the Cheyenne Indians gave them the name, and when they moved out west, there was one individual by the name of Private John Randall. He was escorting a hunting party of about 2 or 3 gentlemen out hunting, and they encountered some Cheyenne Indians, and they ran off, tried to escape. He tried to help them escape. The hunters eventually got killed, but John Randall took cover in a ravine, and he held off these Indians for an extended amount of time. And by the time he was rescued by the local camp, he had 1 lance wound in his shoulder and about 14 different wounds in his body. And he made it back to camp, and he survived. And the word got out that there was a new trooper on the plains, and they were African Americans, and they reminded them of their buffalo. The hair was curly, and when they were cornered, they fought like cornered buffalo. So hence the name Buffalo Soldier from the Cheyenne Indians.
Interesting.
And since they kept, they regarded the buffalo in high esteem, those troopers took on the moniker Buffalo Soldiers as a good thing. That's how the Buffalo Soldiers
Now,
name
you know
came
what?
about.
You give that test to 6th graders and ask them that question. I wonder how many would know that without you guys going into the schools, because it's not in the school books, is it?
No, that's why we do what we do, to spread the history. I didn't get that history growing up in Texas.
I didn't either.
I spent 20 years in the service, and I didn't get that history. So, I mean, it's available now. You can Google just about anything, but it's out there. But if you don't know about it, you don't know where to look. And that's what we do, is kind of plant a seed and give people different ideas and different ways to go looking at American history. Because Black history is American history.
Yes, it is.
Well, a lot of people don't think about who wrote the history books. It wasn't the black. So consequently, there wasn't a lot of things about black history in the history books, because they didn't write the history books. So,
Yeah, that's why remember that old joke about his story. Yeah, I guess it's his story. His story.
yeah.
And not told by those who really know the real deal.
There's an African proverb that states, let me get this right, a quote off the top of my head, but until lions have historians, tales of the hunt will always glorify the hunter.
Mm.
So basically what we're trying to do is be historians for the lion.
Mm.
That's the way I
Very well
look at
put.
it.
Very well put.
And not just to the kids, but to a lot of the older people, senior citizens. We want them to know too, because then they go home and talk to their grandkids and stuff about it, and we get the word out. So.
Who's the most thrilled, the old folks or the young ones?
I'd say it's probably about the evening.
Yeah.
I've been around. I've seen the kids love the horses,
Yeah, they
but
love
the
the
old
horses.
folks have such a genuine respect for who you are and what you do because they've got more knowledge in certain respects.
And sometime I have a uncle that was in the 25th Infantry in Korea, and I talked to his kids sometime, but excuse me, they had no idea that their father was considered a Buffalo soldier, and 25th Infantry was part of the Buffalo
Yeah.
Soldiers.
Amazing. And what's more amazing is to find out that you were the root of, or the beginning of the Tuskegee Airmen. I mean, that is
Well,
really
yeah, that's like the
interesting.
lineage,
The
coming
lineage,
from-
yeah.
Yeah.
That is so
Just
interesting.
progression.
Wow.
I mean, they stood on the shoulders of the Buffalo Soldiers. Me being an Air Force veteran, I stand on the shoulders of Tuskegee Airmen, and these guys today stand on our shoulders. So we just can't forget it. We have to pass it on, especially to the younger generation, because we don't want this history to be lost. It was lost once, and
That's
nobody
right.
talked about it, and it's up to us to keep this going.
and
Yeah.
boy, do you do a fine
Right
job.
now,
of
we're
it.
also starting a junior Buffalo Soldiers to try to get these kids in there so they learn it and they can spread the word, because kids listen to kids.
Yes,
So
they do.
if you get them where they spread the word and talk about it, it's a lot of help sometimes. So.
And that's where I want to pick up when we come back, because that's the main focus right here, that we want to make sure that we get the word out to the youngins that there's a place for them in terms of being of service to the community at a very young age. Everybody, you're watching Variety Talk Live from Las Vegas. I'm your host, Linda Leak. You're sitting in with the Buffalo Soldiers. We'll be right back.